Thank you for joining.
You're welcome. I'm very happy to be here to create a energy together.
Yes, yes, I'm happy that we're here together in this energy space. Thank you for agreeing to this. Thank you for just agreeing to come on and accepting the invitation. And I just want to make sure that everything is clear for you. Do you see everything? Do you hear everything well,
Yeah,
Sukhavati?
perfect.
Perfect?
Yes.
Okay, beautiful. Wow. What time is it where you are in the world?
It's almost 11 a.m.
Okay, and is this in Bali land?
This is Bali land. We are on a Thursday, which is the Guru's Day, the day of also of the community.
The Guru's Day.
Yes, Jupiter Day. So Thursday is the Jupiter. So that's why normally, if you notice, on Thursday, I always meet a lot of random people and I feel this community energy, and I feel it's Guru expressing itself through the community.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So that's really big in Bali, the Guru's Day?
No, it's just in general. So this is astrology. Every day is related to a planet. Like Monday is the moon day, Tuesday is Mars, Wednesday is Mercury. Yeah.
Okay, beautiful. And I saw something that you put up on your story, Sukhavati. You said something about there being like 12 days of like a fractal portal or something like that. What was that?
Yeah, that's right. So for me, I'm a channeler, so sometimes I channel things I don't know. So the 12 first of the year are fractal portals of the 12 months of the year. That's why it's recommended to put a special attention to these days, the first 12 days of the year. And for example, today for me is day 5, for you is day 4. So for you, today is a fractal portal of April. Number 4 is the archetype of the divine masculine, of the emperor. So it's a day to create a solid foundation of your life, settle your routines, your discipline, your structure. Today for me is day 5, so it's the day of the Hierophant, the teacher and the student.
Okay.
And it's also a day for adventure, to try something new, to learn something new.
Yes. Yes. So we're in the teacher and student role right now. I'm the student. Right now.
We're swapping.
Blessings. You're in the future. I feel like I'm in the past. You're a day ahead.
That's true.
It's a true portal, you're in the portal for real. So you said, so there's different focuses on different days. You have like an intention that you're putting out?
Yes, so at the moment I'm trying, I don't know how the audience is feeling right now. Maybe you could write how you feel right now. I feel this, we started this year quite intensely. I feel a lot of emotions. I feel a lot of inward energy and more connected to meditation and like the spiritual connection. There's a lot of Plutonian energy, which is energy of transformation this year. We started with a lot of energy in Capricorn, and so there's a lot of transformation of our inner structures, our life. There's like the tower of the tarot, falling, and it's like, oh my God, and now I have to create a new foundation of my life, because I was, thinking all of this and it's not real. It was just in my imagination, or it doesn't work anymore. I need to create a new foundations. So I don't know how people feel, but for me, the process right now is to allowing things to fall. What is not working, I'm allowing this to fall with the gravity of the universe. And then, okay, I need to get ready for a new structure, a new life, a new tower. But I don't know, like I feel at the moment it's difficult to see beyond the distraction, the destruction. I can only see now how everything is falling, the destruction. And of course, I know there's gonna be the excitement of something new to build, and this is coming. So if you guys are feeling the same, if you are seeing maybe part of your life, an aspect of your life falling, this is normal. Is the the global energy, the collective energy, but soon will come the excitement for something more aligned to your soul, something more aligned for sure. Yeah.
Beautiful. Oh my goodness. I feel like you're channeling right now.
All the time.
Oh my gosh. So the way that you said it, Sukhavati, you kind of made me feel like, these towers that are falling down, it doesn't have to be a bad thing. With destruction comes creation. So it feels like a new foundation.
Uh-huh. And it's like now it's Shiva energy and Kali energy. So it's like Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. I love the Kali mantra also. Om Shrim Krim Kalikaye Namaha. And just, allowing this Shiva, this Kali to destroy everything. And I know then, something fresh, something lighter will come. But now it's intense. Yeah.
Beautiful. Just now when you were chanting it, those mantras like Om Namah Shivaya, there was one that I was reminded of, and it just came to me just as you did that just now. And it was what was it? It was something, a lady used to sing this. She would be like, Suki no Bhavantu. Well, what is that one?
Yeah, this is the peace mantra. This is Om Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu.
Yeah. Om Savasta Sukhino Bhavantu. This lady, she sang it over and over and over again. I never asked her what it was. What is that?
So this mantra is in Sanskrit, and it means I wish all the beings to be happy. I wish all the beings to reach liberation, nirvana.
Wow. Liberation. Oh my goodness. So is that Pali? Like, is that a certain a language, or what language is that?
So Sanskrit is, I think, actually it's one of the last ancient language alive. Sanskrit is still studied in India. And yeah, the frequency is very high.
Okay.
So yeah,
Okay.
that's why it's very good. I mean, it's good to chant mantras in your own language, because it goes straight to your soul. If you say mantras like I love myself, I'm grace, I'm beautiful, I'm joy, I'm happiness, but it's also good to chant these mantras in Sanskrit because of the vibration, and also because, for example, this mantra Om Loka Samasta Sukhino, there are so many people at the moment, in this precise moment, chanting this mantra all over the world, that if you chant this mantra right now, you are like plugging with a grid of energy around the world, where people are plugging, and we are co-creating this frequency in which we are wishing everyone to be happy, in which we are wishing everyone to get rid of their ego. So that's why it's so nice to chant Sanskrit mantras, because there are people already singing in this precise moment.
In this moment.
Yes.
Oh
yes.
my goodness. So the way that you said that, so it's almost like you're saying when we're chanting something that people have been chanting for ages, for eons or for centuries, but even as we speak, they're chanting it now, that you're actually tapping into that energy.
Yes, like, because there are very famous mantra like Om Namah Shivaya, there's Shivaism. There are people who are super into Shiva, and they are 24/7 chanting to Shiva. There's many people chanting this mantra, Om Loka Samasta Sukhino, all the time. So yes, you connect with them. I remember once, when I was living in South America, the Kundalini energy of Gaia is there. So the frequency is quite high, and I will go into bliss so often. Like I was not very grounded at all. I was like, boom. And then I developed this connection with some people around the planet, you know, and they will talk to me telepathically.
Mm.
Then some people told me there's a TV show on this also. I'm like, oh, I know this. And they will just talk to me, and I'm like, why? Why we talk? And they will say, we are just vibing in the same frequency.
Mhm.
And I had a friend in India, but it was all telepathically. One friend in India, another in Argentina, another in Canada, and we were just chatting, sharing frequencies. So yeah, we really need to start opening up to the magic, because we are magical beings in a magical planet, and everything is frequency. So in the same way that now you and me, we are in such a different places in the planet, but there's a frequency that connects us, no? So that's how we are sharing, we are, yeah, creating this energy together.
Absolutely, absolutely. Life is magical, you know. And as you say, when you said that they said it was a TV show like that, was it Sense 8? Was it the Sense 8 show?
Yeah.
That's what it reminded me of.
Yeah, I haven't watched it, but I have experienced it.
Wow. Wow. So you actually experienced it. You know, they say the truth is stranger than fiction, you know?
Yeah.
The truth is stranger than fiction. So with that telepathic link to different beings all over the world, what did that feel like for you?
Yeah. It feels like we are never alone, right? Like we are always part of a grid. We are always connected. And I think that's what the Aquarian age is bringing us here, you know, in this planetary moment, to remind you that you are never alone, that you are part of a grid. And even though you are alone at home, you are connected. You know, we are so many beings, and we are part of Gaia, right? This living being who is breathing, and we are breathing with her. So, wow, everything is so alive, so powerful. And of course, there's death, like right now, there's destruction. But there's so much life also. So yeah, we choose with what to tap into, no? And yeah, just really always coming back to the center and grounding. I feel also grounding is so important, because the technology right now, it's really off grounding, you know, all this Wi-Fi, 5G, and so hugging trees and really breathing. And I've seen you do this qigong. I love that. You know, all these movements, breathing and movement, and coming back to the body, because the body knows you are not alone. The body knows you are connected. You are part of something alive. Yeah.
Yes, I agree, you know. And when you speak of never being alone, has there ever been a time in your life before you had that realization that you did feel alone? And if there was, you know, how did you cope, or how were you able to deal during that time?
Yes, I think for me, this feeling of feeling alone came from not being able to feel the divine. So I felt disconnected to source, to the divine, and so I was also disconnected of people. Even though I had, you know, boyfriend, job, friends, nothing was fulfilling me, because I didn't have this connection with source. I needed to find the divine inside me. I needed to find the divine inside people. I was losing the hope. I was feeling, wow, this planet is collapsing, you know. People are, you know, there's a greed, there's, you know, sadness, there's nothing. It was difficult. And when we go into this vortex of darkness, it can take us fully, you know. It's like, and then sometimes there's no one there to give you answers, or to support you. I remember I went to my parents, and I'm like, I think I'm depressed, I must have something. And they are like, so we are, you know, like, this is the world in which we live. This is what we are giving you. This is what we know. And I'm like, well, this is not enough for me. This, what you are showing to me, is not enough, no? So then I went to look for God. I dropped everything. I went to Asia. I was like so determined to find the divine outside and inside me. And I found the Divine Mother, Amma. She's my guru. She lives in Kerala. And for me, that was a life changing situation. You know, the most important wow moment of my life, I feel, after birth, I'm sure. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Thank you for sharing that, and because so many people I feel go through that and they don't grow through that, you know? And you were able to find a way, or to at least, see the light at the end of the tunnel. And when you came in contact with Amma, can you speak on and talk about how you encountered Amma the Hugging Saint, the impact that she had on your life, and how you got your name as well?
Yeah, thank you. Whew, this is like, the biggest love of my life, the longest relationship I had. This is like so sweet. So first, it's like in that moment, I was doubting of the existence of the divine, of source. I was not into this. I just knew I needed to find something greater than myself. And when I found her and I saw how humble she is, like, okay, she's guru and there are millions of people following her, but she's sitting in like a carpet on in the beach just talking with us, and you can feel the energy. Her aura is so big, even though I was not so sensitive back then, I could feel, wow, this woman, there's so much love here, and for me it was very important that she's not only speaking about love, she's performing love full time. So she has hospitals, universities, schools. She has provided water for many poor villages in India. So she's love in motion. So she's performing love. So for me, this was so inspiring. I'm like, wow, this is what I need to channel this energy. And of course, sometimes we expect to receive unconditional love from our mother or father or partner, but they are not God realized. So they cannot provide this divine love. But when, for example, for me, when I found her and I saw, wow, she's source, she's the source of infinite love. She is the source of unconditional love. Then I was not expecting to receive this love from other people. I'm like, okay, I'm receiving it now. So then all my relationship shifted, because now I was full. So I was not expecting anything from anyone. So I'm like, I'm just happy already. And Sukhavati means full of happiness. So she gave me this name, full of happiness. So I'm already full. Like, of course, every relationship is gonna nurture me, and I know there's a sparkle inside every person, this divine sparkle. But yeah, and this is also something to cultivate. It's not like suddenly one day I woke up and I had full devotion in my guru. Many doubts, of course, and is she really God? Is she really a source of infinite love? Yeah, but this trust, this faith is something to cultivate, the devotion. So for me, devotion was what truly saved my life and changed my life. To feel, okay, I'm just going to give love. Devotion means you give love, you give trust, faith, unconditional love. You put it into something, maybe it's an image, maybe it's Virgin Mary, maybe it's Yeshua, maybe, and I'm not going to expect that Yeshua speaks back to me, or like, but I'm just going to allow myself to open my heart without the feeling or the fear to be wounded. I'm just going to expand my heart with this energy that it's here vibrating in front of me. And so that's what I'm doing every day. I'm just connecting with my guru Amma, with the Divine Mother, and like allowing myself to expand each time more. But yeah, it's a beautiful journey. Now it's 6 years with her. And of course, she doesn't want me to be next to her. She wants me to work, to make money, to use this money to do good things, and to have relationships, to be normal. To be normal, yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. Oh my goodness. Just as you were painting the picture with your words of like having an encounter with Amma, because I myself have never, I've never witnessed, but I know that I've heard stories from Naida as well. And, I heard that there were times where she would be in crowds, or be around people, and people would almost line up just to get a hug, from her. So what was it like to have that contact? If you can recall, like what did that feel like?
I'm a spoiled child because I already had more than 50 hacks from her. So she's still doing this, you know, she's still hugging people. So people line up and sometimes you have to wait a long time. I have even traveled with her in South India. So we will set up like a moving ashram, you know, in a village, and she will hug for the whole night, sometimes even 24 hours hugging people. So that's the Divine Mother, you know, she hugs and she doesn't mind if you're poor, rich, ugly, pretty, you know, she's gonna hug you. And yeah, it's very, you know, she puts a seed in your aura.
A
Some
what?
people
A seed?
seed,
Okay.
a seed, the seed of love. Yeah, seed of love. And some people feel a lot with the hug. Some people don't feel anything. So it depends on you, your openness, the day, you know. But it doesn't matter. It works. You know, it's gonna change your life. Just one hug. And for me, every time she hugs me, I feel the Divine Mother hugging me. You know, it's like, wow, this being is loving me with no judgment. It's just loving me fully. Is loving all my imperfections. She's just love, you know. And I at the beginning I had a lot of fear also, like I couldn't even look at her eyes. I had a lot of fear and like, oh, this you know, light being is looking at me. I cannot look at her in her eyes. It took me many years to be able to look at her in her eyes, you know, because when she looks at you, she's seeing everything. She's seeing everything. So that was the first time I realized I'm an alien. Because when I asked her, can you be my guru? You have to ask so she can say no. So in that moment, she looked at me and I opened my eyes and I saw how she was seeing all my soul, like, and in one moment I saw like with a big pink body. I had this big pink like animal like, and I'm like, wow, what is this who am I? And then she looked at me and she said, okay, I take you, you know, I don't mind where from the galaxy you come from, I take you also.
Wow. Wow. As you are, you know, just full acceptance, pure love. And, you know, when you were saying that for many years, it took you years to be able to look at her in her eyes. Was it more so of her, the being that she is, or was it something that is within you that you didn't want her to see? Like, what was that?
Yeah, I think it was shame, embarrassment, the shame of not being good enough, no, or not being loving enough, and all, you know, the ego, darkness. And but now, yes, the last time I was in September back in the ashram for my birthday, and now I look at her and I feel very light, the connection. She's like, and of course, you know, I dream with her. I have darshan also hacks in the dream time. I have lucid dreamings with her. So sometimes for me, it's more rich, my life with her in lucid dreams than in real life, because of course in the 3D, there's so many people lining for a hug and so much going on. So yeah, and sometimes people become her. Like also this year, I went to visit my father and my mother, and sometimes I saw my father shifting, and it was Amma in front of me talking to me, and I'm like, wow. So she's playing around like a guru. Whew, so much magic. So she's basically saying, your father is also a guru, you know, your father is Amma. And also my mom will shift and like, wow, it's also lovers suddenly become her. I'm like, oh my God. So I'm always with Amma.
Wow, always with Amma. So you're able to witness the divinity in everyone. And
Slowly, slowly.
she's in everyone. Wow. So people were lining up for 24 hours just to receive one hug, and you've had 50. You said that's why you said you were spoiled. You were like, oh, I'm spoiled. I've had so much love, you know. It pours out of you. It just oozes from you, you know. No wonder. And now and even in the dream space, you're saying in the astral plane, you're able to be with her as well. So she's always with you.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
amazing. Wow. Wow. Oh my goodness. You know, when you talked about shame and her seeing the shame in your eyes or seeing something that you were trying to avoid or afraid of, how were you able to shed that shame? You know, where so many people cling on and hold on to these things and they weigh them down for years at a time. What freed you?
Mm. I probably self-love, right? Like self-love. So seeing not only Amma in everyone, but also Amma in me, you know, and sometimes it's true. Amma is also in me. I move my hands and my face and I'm like, wow, it's like, this is Amma, this is not me, you know. So it's feeling the divine in me, feeling love, love inside. Yeah.
Okay, okay. So it's one thing to see the divine in others, but it's quite another to see it in yourself. That's another level. Okay, okay. Beautiful. You know, the shedding of shame and the blame game, you know, and the guilt as well. Because somebody told me something about guilt and shame, and I don't know if you have different definitions, but they said something to the effect of like guilt is saying I did a bad thing, but shame is like saying I am a bad person. You know, how would you define them?
Wow. Wow, guilt and shame. Yeah, because in guilt, it's almost you're well, in both you're focusing in the other person, right? In like what the other person feels about you. In guilt, it's someone pointing at you, and maybe it's yourself pointing at yourself. In shame, it's more from you, right? It's like I cover myself. I'm covering. I need to be alone. You know, it's like it's separation. In both, there's separation, but probably in guilt, it's more focused on the other person. In shame, it's coming more from an embarrassment. And yeah, I think only love can heal everything. So sometimes for me, it's not so much about focusing on these negativities, but focusing. I don't understand anything, you know. I'm at this moment like tower collapsing. Okay, so okay, just cultivate love, you know, cultivate. Sometimes now I'm connecting a lot with qigong, so when I see you doing qigong, it's so good, and it's like, wow, okay, feeling the love in the air, feeling this love in my body, feeling, wow, the lightness, and bringing lightness back to the reality.
Yes, yes. So just like they say, and I'm sure you've heard this, Sukhavati, that what we focus on the longest grows the strongest, you know? So you place your focus on love. You place your focus on the things that are going to cultivate and build the things that you want to build. And you don't place any focus, it seems, on the negative.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's good to also to think, to look at it sometimes in meditation or like therapy or channeling session, healing, to see the shadows and the patterns that we repeat. But what I have learned through devotion and my process with Amma is sometimes, you know, the mind cannot grasp it, and we cannot truly understand where is this coming from, because this negativity can come from past life, you know. So on your DNA and your genetics, and it's intense. It's like big. So if you focus on love, the love will heal everything.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Beautiful. You know, when you speak of devotion, Sukhavati, I saw on your bio, in your bio, it said something about a bhakti yogini.
Mm.
And what is, how does devotion and bhakti yoga, you know, being a bhakti yogini, how do those two go hand in hand?
Mm-hmm. Yes. So there are many types of yoga. I think most of the people already know. There's Kundalini yoga, Asana yoga, no, Hatha yoga, Dhyana yoga. So many. Bhakti yoga is the yoga of devotion. So these people are not moving the body. These people are just chanting the divine name. So they are chanting mantras, like that lady you mentioned. They're just chanting mantras, singing songs to Kali, to Shiva, and they are just praying and just focusing on an image. an image of the divine, and pouring all the love in that connection, in that image. So it's the most irrational yoga. Is the, it's not connected with knowledge, with the mind activity. It's from the heart, and they say it's the quickest way to God, because you are leaving your mind aside and you are like, okay, I just put my heart here. I'm just going to sing to Shiva all the day long. And it works. It works. Suddenly you're more loving, you're more inspired, and you're more peaceful and happier. But there are many paths, like Jnana Yoga. It's for people who are more in the mind and they need to understand through the mind, which is also fair enough. So they will read sacred texts, like the Vedas, Mahabharata, Bhagavad Gita, or Quran, the Bible. They read, they study the sacred text, and that's also a path to the divine, right? But Bhakti Yoga, no much text here. It's just you open to sing to God.
Yes, yes. I've also heard of like Raja Yoga as well. That's another one, right?
Yes, Raja Yoga, I think it's a mix, right? A mix of yogas. Yeah, they say that actually we need to cultivate different yogas, not only one. We need a bit of Jnana Yoga, a bit of meditation, Dhyana Yoga, a bit of Asana Yoga, Hatha Yoga. We need a bit of each. But it's true, like your condition, maybe in my case, if I'm more like an emotional being, so an emotional being needs more Bhakti Yoga, right? A more mental being needs more Jnana Yoga. So yeah, in my case, yeah, it's good to know your nature and to align yourself with the practice that is more aligned for you.
Beautiful. I couldn't have said it better myself. I love that. I love that. Like it's so simple, It's so simple, but sometimes we make it hard, align yourself with the one that is aligned with you, It makes sense. It makes perfect sense. So when you talk about bhakti yoga and devotion, I love what you said, Sukhavati, about how it's the most irrational, because when we talk about faith, that, you've heard like faith is like the substance of things hoped for or the evidence of things not seen. And one of my friends told me that faith is an acronym for following all in thy heart. Yeah. So it makes sense. You're out of the headspace, you're into the heart space,
Wow.
Yeah.
Woof, so beautiful. This really touched my heart. So beautiful.
Wow. So when it came to chanting and also visualizing something, like when you see that there are certain people that might, gaze upon Saraswati or gaze upon Ganesh or gaze upon, Lakshmi, what did you gaze upon during your, as you were coming into your bhakti yoga?
I saw you a photo. I focus on my Guru Amma,
Of
which is
course.
the Divine Mother. I look at her, but it's true, I'm also very connected to Kali. So Kali is the goddess of death and transformation. So yeah, all Amma devotees, we are connected to Kali. So it's the darkest aspect of the Divine Mother who really embraces our shadows and help us to integrate our shadow. So they say we are in Kali Yuga right now. So Yuga, it's like eons, right? It's like a period of time. So now we are in Kali Yuga, in the period of Kali. So it's the period of destruction. They say that now we are going through the galactic sunrise. So we are still in the darkness, but we are about to experience in the whole galaxy the sunrise. So Kali Yuga is a period of destruction. We are now, our world is collapsing. We are going towards the new earth, the 5D. So yeah, they say in India, if in Kali Yuga you should align with Kali because she's gonna support you in this going through the destruction with grace.
Going through destruction with grace. Okay. Wow. So Sukhavati, when it came to embracing that or facing that, you know, when it came to integrating your darkness, where did you find strength or even power through that integration of your darkness?
Yeah, I face it every day. You know, it's not easy. It's like oh my God, Sukhavati. So for me, it's like I see all the first not identifying myself with these shadows and this darkness, and it's like, okay, I'm not this shadow, I'm not this darkness. I channel this darkness. It comes maybe from my lineage. It's in me. Okay, I accept it, but I'm not that. You know, I'm beyond this light or darkness. I'm essence. I'm soul. I'm, you know, it's beyond that. But it's true. Mainly in relationships. I don't know. For me, relationship is the main topic in my life. No, it's like where I learn the most, and we always see these triggers, you know, we all see and I cannot stop and say mama you know, I have to be normal and say, oh yeah how to go through this. Goddess, please give me, you know, the wisdom, the patience, the love to go through this, you know. And always for me it's offering everything to the divine. So I don't know what to do with this darkness. I don't know what to do with this conflict with my friend. I don't know what to do with this uncomfort feeling I feel every time I'm next to this person. I don't know what to do. And my mind cannot understand it, because the mind can create so many stories. You feel uncomfortable because that person is not truly aligned with la 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 la. The mind creates so many stories. I don't know what's truly happening. So I'm going to take all of this and say, Guru, please eat my darkness. Take it from me. I don't know what to do with this. And it's causing me like poison. It's poison in the aura. It's poison in the body. So I just offer it to her. And then she will give it back to me maybe in an answer. Maybe that day I meet someone who suddenly says something that is like, wow, now I understand. Or yeah, it's like when you offer it to the divine, you are like, okay, I'm ignorant. I don't know what to do with this situation. I give it to you, you know, and just you do. So then you know when the signs come that it's because you gave it, you offer it to the divine. So now the answer is coming to you.
Okay, as an offering. Okay, so is that almost like, you know, if you've ever heard, you know, when people are in conflict, speaking of, you know, relationships, and like you said, you're trying to figure how to deal with the triggers. And if somebody is pushing your buttons, there's a saying like, remove the buttons or something like that. If somebody's pushing your buttons, that just take away the buttons. But you're saying you almost like offered the buttons up as an offering to just say like, you take this, you hold on to this, you do with this. Is that what it is?
It is, because then you will change, you know, partner, friend, and the same buttons will appear. It doesn't matter the container, you know, the shapeshifter. It's like the buttons will be always there. So just offer the buttons to the divine.
Okay. So the buttons will always be there. It's not the partner. It's not the person, you're saying.
Yes.
Okay. They'll always be there. Okay. So it's something that's inside that you need to offer up.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Wow. That makes sense. You know, because, you know, we like to point fingers, and of course we like to externalize things, but when you go to the internal, you know, I resonate. And then offering it up as something like, you know, you take this, you hold on to this, is wow. That's part of that devotion, you know. Yeah, part of those emotions. So, oh my goodness, you know, earlier, speaking of darkness and speaking of going through tough times, you talked about on your story that you were going back into adventure and you felt like your chi was coming back because there was some sort of accident. Do you mind speaking on what happened?
Yes. Oof, this has been very intense week for me because I had a bike accident on the 28th of December. I've been 3 years in Bali. I never had an accident. It's true, I'm a fast driver, but I'm in the road. And
Oh,
now there's a
a motorcycle.
motor bicycle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was really scary to face death, and it was just a man in front of me. He suddenly decided to turn right. He didn't put the lights. He didn't have mirrors. So of course he didn't look at the mirrors. And but beyond that, who is guilty? It had to happen, this accident, because my life changed very fast. So in that moment, I'm flying in the road. I think I'm going to die. I have blood. I think I die, and I'm thinking the worst, of course. I'm thinking, wow, I don't have, insurance. I now everything broken, bike, myself. What about how I'm going to do my life, how I'm going to work, how I'm going. I'm very independent woman. I don't like someone to take care of me. Like, I want just me. So all this suddenly is like, fuck, maybe now you're going to depend on people. It's like, what? This is my deepest fear. Like, I don't want this. I don't want to put this power on other people. In that moment, what happened in my life right now, it's I was exploring a platonic love with a man that I never met in person, just online. But we we developed this deep love, and it was very platonic, very ethereal. We will meet in meditation and in the astral plane, and it was very ethereal. So when I crashed, I was like, fuck this shit. Like, I need a man, I need someone who is gonna pick me up in the hospital. Who it happened, I have my best friend, and I phoned him. I'm like, I'm bleeding on the road. And he immediately came, right? So I was like, this is what I need. I need the 3D. I need, someone who is gonna take care of me. And so there's a lot, I think, connected with the full moon in Cancer, about nurturing, about taking care and being taken care. And but yeah, in that moment, I decided to stop this online relationship. Not to stop. I don't think we can stop or dissolve relationships. They are always there. But what I can decide is to change the way I relate to this connection, and relate in a different way. Because for me, this person was like my soulmate, and I was going to leave Bali and go to meet him in his country, in his place. So I was about to leave my own identity and myself just to meet this person. No, so when I crashed, I felt, no, you don't want this. You love Bali. This is your home. This is where you are blooming. And it's not. I thought, something really traditional, but what I felt is like, it's not the work of a woman to go to look for a man. It's a man who should come to look for the woman. And then also now, because I cannot lift this left arm, I have to use my right arm to put the left up. So the right always has to support the left, and the left has to surrender and to allow to be helped by the right side. It's like, otherwise I cannot lift it up. So it's such a strong learning about the feminine and the masculine, and surrendering and being vulnerable, and allowing the right side to to help the left side. So I think maybe this is I wish the angels were softer. But I needed the crash to learn all of this. And yeah, I think it's intense learning for me to learn about this, because it's very traditional, this man, woman, marriage. And for me, it's always been very difficult to understand this concept. But it's something I want, but because I'm always so focused in Amma and this connection and friends, and other kind of connections, and not this one-on-one loving, romantic, sexual, or like, yeah. So I think it's part of the process of learning.
Wow. Oh my goodness. Yes. And being in that process. And thank you. First of all, thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing that, and just your experience, and just being vulnerable and being open. and sharing what a lesson that was for you in that moment. And I can only imagine, you know, being on a motorcycle in Bali, like having that collision, having that happen, and then all those things going through your mind, like you don't want to depend on somebody, you don't want to have this happen, you don't want to have that happen, and having to be supported. And then you said that you needed the 3D, that was something that you needed, and you were able to rest in that, or you were able to rely on someone in that moment. You were able to call someone and they were able to come help. So wow, you truly, you're thankful for that. You're saying it needed to happen.
Yes, it needed to happen, because I think as spiritual people, sometimes we go too far, you know, in the astral plane and in our devotion, but it's balance is needed. It's needed to be also in the 3D, and it's needed to know your needs. What are your needs, you know? And my needs is like, okay, this astral love is fulfilling me in the 5D. You know, I feel so unconditional love, so much unconditional love. But actually, this is not practical. I want a partner who can make me soup and who can take care of me when I'm like, like in bed, like crying because this is so painful. All these bones and bruises and like, so it's like Sukhavati, just be more in the body in the 3D and like. But I tend to go into extremes because the previous relationship was the opposite. It was very physical, very sexual. I need to learn balance, you know, how I jump from a very physical to a very astral relationship. Yeah.
Okay. So having something to ground, you know, like sometimes we go up, but sometimes we come back down, you know? Yeah. Balance. Finding that balance. I feel like that's tricky for everyone, you know, that we never, or almost, it's, you know, always striving to find that perfect blend or that perfect balance. But it's just interesting, you know, where that is. Because somebody once gave an example of, you know, like chocolate milk. I know this is not the greatest example, but they said, okay, if you have powder to make chocolate milk, and you're saying, okay, you want balance, you want 50-50, but you pour, you know, you have 50% milk and 50% powder, that's gonna be horrible, you know, you don't want that. So it's like you have the milk at a level, and then you have just enough to, you know, to circulate to make it a perfect blend. And so sometimes it's not always, you know, just finding that sweet spot almost. Yeah.
Wow, that's such a great example. I like it. Yeah.
The only one I can think of at the time, because, you know, there's just so many things that kind of get us out of whack or make us feel like we're off kilter or off balance or out of alignment. But do you feel like you're you're ever out of alignment, or you're still in alignment even when you're going through or growing through a situation like that?
Wow. This is such a good question, because when I was recently in Spain, I had fever and I heard an angel saying, Sukhavati, when you come back to Bali this time, they're going to have a bike accident. So you better get an insurance. I heard the angel telling me this, but I forgot, you know. And so there are things that are karma, you know, it's destiny. Okay, it can go worst, less worse, because when I was in the bike, you know, I was having all this mental conflict, and I caught myself thinking about this, and I'm like, hey, whoo, I'm driving, I'm in my mind, and I said, God, thank you for all in my life that I have clarity. So I started I was praying, I was saying, thank you for this, thank you for that, thank you for that. Then there was a crossroad, and a man really looked like really negative to me, like, and he was carrying a lot of eggs, and he was like, wow, this man carrying eggs has such an intense look, you know, in his eyes. And then 3 seconds later this happened. So yeah, so many things, but definitely I feel like I was giving thank you to life for being alive just 5 minutes before the accident. So these little things help. It could be worse for sure.
Yeah. The man with the eggs that had the look, what did that symbolize, or what was that a sign of in that moment?
you know, in Bali, this is Asia, so you don't wait for someone to give you time to cross the road. You have to go in. When there's a crossroad, you go like a bull, like, I want my turn, you know? It's a bit like this because there are so many, you need to make a space for yourself. So I did that, you know? So I was like, and then he looked at me and he's like, whoa, no, no, no. So he already gave me the no, this is too much, you know, airy, like fiery energy to be on the road, girl. So yeah.
Hey, wow, wow. So that was an indication. It was like, no, no, no. Okay. Wow. Oh my gosh. You know, there's so much more I would love to ask you. You know, we haven't even gotten into like light language or different things, you know, but for the sake of time, I we can bring it to a nice close. I just want to just thank you so much for just having the strength, and also just having that love that you pour into yourself so often that we feel it as well, you know, because we can all feel it. It's so much. Fills your cup to the brim. Like they say, fill your cup up and let it pour from the overflow, you know, let it pour from the brim, from the sides. And I feel like that's what you've done, you know? So thank
Wow, this is so beautiful, Jerome. Thank you so much for feeling in this way. I'm so grateful. And yes, I would love we keep this conversation next time in my IG account, and to know also more about you, because I feel just in this conversation I can feel also your transmission, even though English is not my main, you know, language. I'm feeling I can speak better thanks to you. I think it's all this transmission from you. So thank you so much, and thank you for being so open. Yeah, I think you really pick up the best bits of my story.
Beautiful. You know, we're just reflecting, you know, we're reflections here. And if there's anybody who's joined or is watching this, you know, on the replay, this is their first time ever seeing you, would you let them know, you know, any of your services or anything that you'd like to let people know where to find you and where you'd like people to go?
Yes, thank you. So I'm Sukhavati. I'm a clairvoyant, channeler, astrologer, and I do a lot of energy clearing, channeling guidance for people. I also do vortex healing, which is energy healing, and yes, astrology reading. So they can find me in my Instagram, Sukhavati333. And I also activate light language in people, which is the language of the soul. And I do a lot of group activation. So maybe I can do now just to close a bit of light language so people can feel it. Yeah.
We'd be honored. We'd be honored. Yes.
Okay, so maybe we can close our eyes and just relax. Inhaling, exhaling. Haina koe e nā he fuafoe e nā shukoko e nā tore o ki ara tokora. Arai ke ana pāhea koe re taina ko sho shiani ke kera na ke o kore ka e o kona ma ea ke ato tore ka kera ra. Ama ke o koe nā i ana toro ke kera tai o kokore tapa kere iahi o wo ai ana koe ara tai o sa e ara na ma ke ara taro. Mai ana kau kore taro, ma ea poko kore. Whai a koe ia, ene ke a kore, a ea koe na, mai a ra ke ara. Mai oro ina, ma ina ke ara te yo kora, ma ia tai o koe kare, tai o koe re taia. Ma ina taia ka kera. Sa ea o ina poe ea koe na, ma ina ke la, soro iaro. Sa hea na mea poe na koe. Taia hea la hea ra taro, ta hea na kia hea na heko koe na. Ma ina kia ka kore, ta ea koe a are he sa, ta kia koko, na ta yo kokore ta. Ta ea koe na ka kia la ka karetara. Ma hea na hea, hua shwe ta yo koe na kia karetara ra. Ma ia na ta yo. To yo. Ta ya. Yeah. Thank you.
Wow, Sukhavati, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for that transmission. Oh my gosh. Beautiful. Beautiful. Yes, we'll have to do this again. Please.
Yes,
Yeah.
sure.
All right. Well, enjoy the rest of your day.
Very honored to meet you and connecting with all this audience, all these beautiful people. We're dropping some messages here. Thank you so much.
Right.
See you soon.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.